Good evening to our global audience from us here at Primetime News Studios and Windhoek. It's always a pleasure to be in your company, giving you the latest in local, continental and global happenings. I'm Michael Madimba. We begin in the capital, where Head of State Dr. Hage Geingob has maintained the current COVID-19 public health regulations, which are due to expire at midnight on Wednesday. He made the announcement during the 44th COVID-19 update on the national response measures at State House earlier this afternoon. Let's have a listen.
Following ones. 1, wearing of mask. The public is urged and encouraged to continue wearing masks, especially in indoor settings and aeroplanes. 2, gatherings. The permitted number with respect to public gatherings remains unchanged at 1,000 persons per event. Education. Measures related to education are retained. A number of many positive cases were recorded among learners and teachers. Therefore, educational institutions are urged to remain vigilant by enforcing public health and social measures. Burials. Measures related to burials of persons who died of COVID-19 remain unchanged. The infection prevention and control pillar will meet with the ministerial legal team, namely the Ministry of Justice and Attorney General's Office, to agree on a less cumbersome process for exhumation of bodies. The details about the new process of exhumation will be communicated by the government following finalization of all the outstanding matters with regard to exhumation procedures. Test results upon entry. Children who are more than 5 years and less than 12 years and anyone who is not fully vaccinated must present a negative PCR result of less than 72 hours. 2, children fully vaccinated should present proof of vaccination status. 3, children from countries that are not vaccinating should present a negative PCR result. 4, health officials are strongly advised to avoid separating children from parents in event the accompanying children have not met the port of entry requirements.
On to our next story. The ripple effects of the Phala saga in South Africa continue to make waves in Namibia, with Ombudsman Advocate Basilius Diakuga declining to pursue the complaint submitted by the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters, as according to him, falls outside his mandate. The Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters lodged a complaint and requested an investigation into President Dr. Hage Geingob for alleged unlawful conduct and concealment of the act of money laundering and theft of money at the farmhouse belonging to South African President Cyril Ramaphosa.
Without necessarily invoking Section 4 that talks about the immunity of the President, as quoted above, in my respective opinion, the complaint submitted by Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters on the 8th of June 2022 falls outside my mandate for 2 reasons. 1, the words, concepts, including language used in complaint, were in reference to violations of criminal law. For example, words such as unlawful conduct, money laundering, theft of money, connived with officials to conceal paper trail of foreign and local subjects to ensure that criminal law are not complied with. They also referred to, and I will summarize it for you as it was stated in the complaint. It is therefore our considered view that such alleged act by the President are tantamount to violations of the oath of his office. Now, violation of oath of office is one area which I could not find a clear express provisions in our law. However, Article 29 of the Namibian Constitution might possibly provide guidance on this issue. Article 29, sub-article 2, it provides that a president shall be removed from office if a 2/3 majority of all members of the National Assembly confirmed by a 2/3 majority of all the members of the National Council adopt a resolution impeaching the president on the ground that he or she has been guilty of a violation of the Constitution or guilty of a serious violations of the laws of the land or otherwise guilty of such gross misconduct or impetus as to render him or her unfit to hold dignity and honor of office of president. Now, in my respective opinion, serious violations of a president's oath of office could be part of Article 29 of the Namibian Constitution. When our laws do not provide sufficient guidance, we also look at other jurisdictions elsewhere in the world for guidance. In many common law countries, similar to Namibia's legal system, serious violations of President's oath of office is a matter that is entrusted with Parliament and not the Ombudsman or any other institutions of government.
In a sad development for wildlife conservation efforts, 11 rhino carcasses were discovered in an ongoing operation in the Etosha National Park from the beginning of June to date. This was confirmed earlier today by the Minister of Environment, Forestry and Tourism spokesperson Romeo Myunda.
The poached rhinos are all black rhinos, and all the horns were not recovered at the scene. There is nobody that has been arrested in connection with the crimes. However, the investigations in this incident continue. We just want to also urge members of the public that may have information regarding this very specific incident or any rhino or any poaching incident that they may be aware of, to alert or report such incidences to the ministry or to the police. Furthermore, we just want to say that this incident must not end up, or the public must rather not lose faith in the ministry's ability to protect the natural resources of this country. We are going to go back to the drawing board where we are going to engage with relevant authorities, which is the National Police, the NDF, as well as private partners, to look into our strategies so that we can better secure and protect our natural resources. Like I've said, this is rather unfortunate that this incident is taking place in the flagship park of the country. Also important to note is that stakeholders will be meeting soon, tomorrow to be specific, to discuss rhino protection and security, not only rhinos but also the protection of our wildlife in the country, including high-valued species such as rhinos and elephants.
Veteran politician Ben Ulenga says the veterinary cordon fence, infamously known as the Red Line, is a symbol of colonialism in Namibia and, quote-unquote, it must go. Edward Mumbu Jr., man in our political desk, compiled this report.
The former Congress of Democrats leader said this in an exclusive interview recently. It also touched base on what the politician has been up to since retiring from mainstream politics. He was initially conservative, with sharing details about his private life. He does small-scale or subsistence farming. Now mostly finding himself in northern Namibia, Ulenga is at pains with the presence of the Red Line 23 years after the country's political independence. Ulenga said the red line is the primary symbol of colonialism in Namibia. It cuts off those north of the red line from participating in the mainstream economy, adding this is what the colonialists wanted and is the case today. He stressed the red line means colonialism.
When we return, NHE workers say institution deteriorated and lost relevance. Leading the primetime business segment tonight, disgruntled National Housing Enterprise employees have alleged that the current administration under Chief Executive Officer Gisbertus Mukulu and the board dismally failed to improve the performance of the institution, both financially and operationally. Sawi Ausiku compiled the story.
The employees, through the Public Service Union of Namibia, are staging a countrywide peaceful demonstration which commenced on Monday and ends on Friday, saying NHE has deteriorated to such an extent it is losing its relevance. In their petition read by Fabiola Matuzi in Windhoek, the workers claimed that since Mukulu's appointment in 2016, the institution has only built 600 houses in 5 years, against the 6,250 houses as per its strategic plan, while financial reports have not been produced, and as a result, audited financial reports are outstanding for 2017 up to 2020. This, according to them, makes it difficult for the institution to access funding, adding that NHE is in contravention of its own act, which requires the line minister to table financial reports in the National Assembly 6 months after the end of each financial year. The workers further claimed that the loan book, which is the main source of revenue for the institution, is shrinking on a daily basis, with very few new loans being added to the loan book to make the business sustainable. They therefore demanded a once-off 60% adjustment on their basic salary in lieu of the annual salary increment of 3.4% agreed between management and the union during negotiations in February 2022. Receiving the petition, Mukulu promised to respond within the time frame the workers requested. Reporting for Nampa News, I am Sawi Hausiku.
Managing Director of Bank Windhoek, Baroness Hans, says the Namibian banking industry is critical in stimulating economic activity as well as ensuring financial stability, particularly during unprecedented and difficult times. Shelva Wills filed this insert.
This is according to Baroness Hans, Managing Director of Bank Windhoek, after she recently succeeded Nedbank's MD, Martha Murorwa, as chairperson of the Bankers Association of Namibia in the capital. The chairperson of the Bankers Association of Namibia is rotated annually among the MDs of Namibia's current 5 commercial banks. Hans noted that stakeholders must ensure that banks, as enablers in the financial industry, receive the support they need to contribute to the country's national development and Harambee prosperity plans. She said one of the ongoing challenges that must be addressed over the next year is clarifying the role of the banking sector to the general public and relevant stakeholders. Hans will serve in this capacity for the next 12 months.
Stay tuned for your sports news with Selima Chimwefelini Masipa, but first, your economics roundup and the weather forecast.
Good evening and welcome to the Planet of Sports. I'm Selima Shumwefeleni Masipa. Local football headlines the segment. Former Brave Warriors stalwart and Hamburg FC player Colin Benjamin has been appointed as the new Brave Warriors coach. Chairman of the FIFA Normalization Committee, BC Oirab, revealed this development at the Football House earlier this morning. The former Brave Warriors skipper is tasked with, among others, stabilizing the Brave Warriors squad with a view of being a formidable prospect in the upcoming COSAFA tournament, ensuring Namibia's qualification for the AFCON 2023 showpiece, as well as building a competitive squad for the Botswana-Namibia AFCON 2027 edition. Benjamin, who will be at the helm of the national team for a 5-year period, expressed gratitude to the NFA and the broader football fraternity on his appointment and acknowledged the mammoth task ahead of him. Staying with local football, the Brave Warriors were drawn against Madagascar in the 2022 COSAFA Cup, scheduled from the 5th to the 17th of July 2022 at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban, South Africa. The draw was conducted at the same venue today and saw Namibia enter the quarter-final stages as one of the unseeded teams at that stage. This year, 13 of the 14 COSAFA nations participated in the draw, with Zimbabwe the only team missing due to their ongoing FIFA suspension. Stand by for your sports roundup. That's where we leave it for this evening. Many thanks for tuning in. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and click the notifications bell to stay posted on the latest happenings locally and globally. Do catch us tomorrow for another installment of Primetime News. From myself, Selima Shumwefeleni Masipa, and the entire production crew, it's good night.